Hello, and welcome to the Top of the Slag Pile. I'm Finn, and I'll be your host of sorts this evening. So outside of slang, slag refers to residue from the process of smelting, a method used to separate metal from raw ore. In British slang, however, slag refers to a worthless or objectionable person. With me tonight are Eric Cabbage and Will Brown. How are you doing, chaps?
Hello. Why is Eric a cabbage?
We established that towards the end of the last episode when you had full port brain.
Yeah,
Thank
you were
on the poop deck.
Yeah, you're almost overboard, some would say, I think. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now, it's glorious.
Thank you. I blend in with the curtains. It's nice.
At least we can tell the difference between what's you and what's shadow. I just sort of disappear. It's
the one positive.
It's like I've been green screened, and below the nose it just falls away. Just occasionally there's a flash of teeth, and that's it.
A flash of teeth. A terrifying phrase.
A flash of teeth below the nose.
Feels like a David Bowie lyric, that.
It does actually, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He was a creepy guy.
A flash of teeth below the nose. Always in the darkness. The teeth below the nose.
My beard falls away from me.
I think we could quite easily be a cover band, even if we could at least write new songs for him.
Yes, gentlemen, get out your finest crack cocaine and we'll have a crack at it.
So close to doing that all the time.
I feel like you have to be on something to be able to produce a David Bowie song. I just don't think that for it to be good and a David Bowie song, you have to have some sort of external input.
I think I could do it on minor sleep deprivation.
That's a good point. It is kind of a euphoric thing when you've stayed up for 24 hours and then you
get
assault
weird.
yourself with like bright senses.
Mm.
I remember that Ryanair flight on the way back from Madrid after being up for 24 hours and being in the middle seat on that bright yellow plane. I was ready to cry. I had no knee space. My eyes were assaulted by the colours, and we were sat in that chair for an additional hour that I was not prepared for. And quite frankly, I was not impressed or happy.
Lack of food's another one. I did a 48-hour fast once, and you start to lose your mind.
Yeah.
At least I do. Like, I'm sure there are people that can just sort of handle that, but I cannot. I like eating.
I don't think I've ever been that close naturally. All I can really say is I think to get the sound of Bowie, if you sit in a bath that's quite nice and warm, and then you keep talking until it starts going just a bit too cold, you get that kind of like half shiver that you kind of need to talk like him or to sing like him. But I probably would need some kind of narcotic in order to actually think of the things he did.
So all we need then to recreate David Bowie is a sleepy Will, a hungry Eric, and Finn in the bath.
Going cold.
I'm not going to lie to you, that stage performance will be very weird. I like the idea that you've got your set of drums above, like, on a little rack on the bathtub. You're just, like, fully submerged in the tub for the whole thing. And you're just, like, giving it beans in the bath on the stage. It's full of water still. It has to be.
Sloshing
in the contract
everywhere.
of each... Yeah. So every performance is part of the contract.
It's also live writing from me and Will, so it's just Finn in the bath and Will and I on either side of him whispering lines into his ears.
The llama went to the butcher's shop.
So you're crazed out your mind hungry. I've been up for the last 48 hours and so can't see straight, and we're just whispering sweet nothings into the ears of a naked man in a bathtub on a stage playing drums.
I mean, I never said he was naked. That was your addition, Will.
I just assumed it would be weird if you're in the tub not naked. We'll have bubbles, don't worry.
Okay.
I think in that context, maybe it wouldn't be that weird.
Really?
I think if you're on stage, it's okay to have clothes on.
Not in my contract.
You just keep adding things to your contract. You don't have to do that, Will. It's fine. No, I insist. Any live stage show, I will be naked. Don't you worry. We weren't worried.
I didn't want that, actually.
Is there any nudity? Can there be?
Can there be nudity?
I can see you, Will Brown.
Don't look at my shame.
People have mandibles.
Oh god, I remember someone saying structure was a thing for this.
I feel like we possibly have some structure. I could do a segment. Shall we do a segment?
Do a segment.
Let's do a segment. Let's do a nice easy one. Let's do one that will hopefully promote Will's port-addled brain to some extent. Anyway, first of all, I'll go in and say that throughout history, written correspondence has been paramount in communication and miscommunication. But it's the latter that I'm really concerned with right now. So, taking one word each, could you please compose a letter from an irate gritter to the local council on the state of the gritting paraphernalia that he has to work with? So the way this is going to work is basically Eric would say "dear," Will would say "sir," and then you would continue taking one word each, writing this letter out, and we see where it goes and how far from the actual subject it gets. How does that sound?
Okay, we can try it.
I will get lost, but
I
okay.
think that's kind of the point. But I'm looking forward to seeing, Anyway,
A gritter, so so I'm on the correct path.
No, let's
to
not
start
get you
with.
on the correct path to start with. Let's just
yeah.
see how we try and talk about different things because you're not sure what a gritter is.
Sure. I hope it's not a euphemism, and I hope I know what it is. Dear
Mr.
Bond,
I
love,
grit.
but
I
cannot,
grit.
under
These
conditions,
most
paraphernalia,
for
me,
must
be
above
a
certain
agenda. Excuse me. Pardon me. I'm recording a thing with Eric. That's okay. It'll make the edit. Ta-ra. Where were we? With the grit and the paraphernalia and my agenda.
that your agenda is where we just left it there. That everything must be above your agenda.
Yeah. What? That's what I say.
Also, that at any point one of you could say full stop, and the next one has to start a new sentence until we eventually get tired of this, and you can just say yours.
Oh, I thought
I like the
sincerely.
idea that you have to read this all back at the end with all of the correct punctuation.
I thought there'd already been a full stop at one point.
I think you can force one. I think there
Okay.
There definitely has been full stops already. I'm not going to dictate.
Okay, I'm going to full stop at the end of agenda.
Gonna throw that one back to you. The old Uno reverse card on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to say full stop.
So where are we up to? Agenda must be above a certain agenda.
Full stop.
Quite
Surprisingly,
your
trousers
don't
fit
in
with
my
agenda.
full stop.
So,
Now
take
them
down,
and
kick
them,
aside,
comma,
and
look
at
the
floor.
full stop.
If we can just round the letter off there, I think we're pretty much there. I think we're pretty much there.
I was really trying to get Eric to use the word window. And I was really hoping that we could then say, now look at the window. I am there. Semicolon. Finish.
Oh, it wasn't that riveting. I think that went fairly well.
Well, I told you not to touch it.
Gives me warm tinglies.
I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it.
I remember anger rising me when I saw what your topic was. That's because I thought Will had said it, so I thought, what the hell is he going to say?
What?
You were angry because you thought Will had come up with the topic that I put.
I read The Lady Who Swallowed the Fly in a very soft Geordie accent, and I thought, what the hell could he possibly be wanting to talk about? And so speaking of which, Will, Corndemic. Would you like to...
Oh yeah. On that note, Corndemic. Not as weird as you think it's going to be. Basically, when in Sainsbury's, there's the section of, like, what's it called? The international section. And in the international section, you can buy these roasted corn and lightly salted corn. It's literally like, corn on the cob, but they've taken all the bits off the cob and they've roasted them in the oven in palm oil and salt. And then they've just put them in a bag, and you can get a whole bag for £1. And I was sitting there just munching on my corn all day. And then the guy opposite us just goes, why the hell does it smell like popcorn? I'm like, corn, and then offer it to him, and he tries a bit, and then realizes it's very Moorish, which is kind of a problem. And so I've made it my quest to basically just try and get as many people in the office to try the corn, so that they then go, oh yeah, actually, I'll have a bag next time. And I managed to get at least two other people and myself all eating corn in the office. And so you just walk around and you just hear this really crunchy corn sound. And the whole place would just stink of corn. Which actually had a second positive, which would be the fact that we've got a slight problem with health and safety at my work, due to the fact that there's various toxic adhesives and leaded solder that gets used on a daily basis, and there is not adequate ventilation. So, to prove the point, if the entire office smells like corn, then they'll quite easily cotton on to the fact that there's not very good ventilation. So, the corn had two purposes, and also I enjoyed the fact that I managed to get like a good chunk of the office eating corn.
So it was kind of a protest move.
Slightly. It was a protest, and also a test to see if I could be a trendsetter. Turns out, no.
I think that might be some of the first corn-related industrial action.
I like the fact that the heady scent of lead-based solder isn't enough for them. It has to smell of corn. And then they'll think, hang on, we need to put some windows in, guys.
It's a subtle yet potent protest on a maize-based diet, and I think really it's worked. And I expect that we will be having repercussions within the next couple of weeks.
Is the corn popped? It's not, from what I'm understanding. It's just the
No,
kernels.
it's kernels, but it's like not the stuff that you'd put in a popcorn machine. It's just standard corn, just straight off the cob, roasted, and then it goes straight into you.
That sounds good, actually.
It's literally 3 ingredients. There's palm oil, salt, and maize, and that is it. But it is not good for you. There is too much salt.
And palm oil. Palm oil is pretty bad for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I really should have changed the topic to palm oil because I have no idea how bad that is for the environment or me, but it goddamn is
orangutans
delicious.
as well. I think the orangutans are particularly...
They really
my
hate palm oil.
Yeah,
My ginger brethren. I've wronged you with my corn.
So for it to be a corndemic, you spread this around further than your workplace. It's at least endemic to your area of living, I suppose. Everyone eating corn.
No, I very much was just the young impressionable staff that I managed to get on board with this.
these two sweaty friendless nerds that you work with. It's, hey, Will's cool. Let's eat corn like him.
It's not the image that I wish to paint of these people. Thank you very much, as that is not what they are.
Maybe if we eat corn like Will, we'll fit in.
I am the new person. I have tried to thrust myself into the office environment in the only way I know possible. And may that or may that not be through corn-related products. That is...
I think corn is better than thrusting, if you want to get on with people at work.
Yeah, I think if you're going to be thrusting at work, Will, then corn first is all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't thrust into the sweaty
it depends
nerds.
on the work environment, personally, and what you're trying to get out of it, but... I take your point on board, and I shall possibly stop peddling my corn.
And start thrusting.
Start thrusting.
So, are you corned out? Would you like any closing remarks on the corndemic?
Not really. If honest with you, I regret bringing it up. But other than that, yeah, go corn.
I can't think of anything worse than a corn snack that is just the hard bits of corn.
It's not the hard bits, though.
It's the soft, nice corn bits. It's not the kernel.
It's the soft, nice corn bits that have been dried to within an inch of their life with oil and salt.
It still sounds pretty tough.
It's more crunchy.
It would be
tough.
crunchy, wouldn't it? If you get the nice, so you cook a sweet corn, forget the whole cob thing. Forget that. Just imagine if you've got a tin of sweet corn and you just cook it. It's just all soft and sweet corny. But then you crisp it up and kind of batter it, I guess. It's got something on it.
You just kind of give it a good jostle in some palm oil and salt. And slap it on a tray, stick it in the oven for 3 days on 100, and Bob's your uncle. You've got yourself some lovely corn-based product.
I'd say Eric's hypothetical, or his imagination regarding hypothetical corn-based scenarios is very impressive, because I couldn't get there. All I can think of is the horrible bits at the bottom of a packet of popcorn, and I'm like, that's horrible.
I do have an acute talent for imagining the life cycle of different corn products.
That's on the CV.
Can you give us another example, please?
Well,
Your creativity knows no bounds. Another product, sir. Another.
well, there's the other ones, isn't there? There's because you got the soft ones, and
That's
then
true. Yeah.
that we talked about just then. You got those ones, and then you got the other ones, the hard bits that explode.
A multitude of sins covered there. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Forrest.
Yeah, there's the two types of sweet
You
corn.
got popcorn. You got corn on a stick. You got corn on the cob. You got fried corn, roasted corn, corn on a sandwich, corn in a can, corn smell.
Corn oil.
Corn oil's a personal favorite. Put it in your smellers. Smell like a beautiful cob the whole day.
Good thing about corn oil, you can use it to cook your corn, and then your corn will taste like corn.
Wow, when I was young, all we done had was corn oil. We done drunk it, we done slept on it.
You can make corn beer, corn wine, corn shine's a personal favorite.
Corn on a crawdad.
Corn on a crawdad.
And we had corn milk for the little uns.
Corn milk goes well in those white girl lattes. Sorry. I apologize.
You made it weird.
What do you mean, made it weird? It was already weird.
So yeah, go corn.
I'm going to shit.
There's love, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So I've sort of having a look recently on the internet about. I think it's basically because it's like a leftover thing in my head from being an events person at university, where you're just endlessly scrabbling for ideas about various events for which there's no demand, but it's your job, so you have to do it. And one of the things that was on my mind was every day is the international and national day of something. So today, for instance, you may not know, but today is national, possibly international, Susan B. Anthony Day. Congratulations, everyone. Today is National Singles Day, for an obvious reason. It's the 15th of February. Also, National Saint Skeletor Day. I don't know what that means, but I love it. But I was kind of wondering, is there any kind of thing that you don't think is represented in a national or international day? And what do you think today should be, aside from the ones mentioned, and of course, National Gummy Drop Day, as because it's also that today, apparently.
I think people have forgotten the Saints' Days, because that used to be just how people told the date once upon a time. They wouldn't say it's like the 4th of whatever. They'd be like, oh yeah, it's 2 days to St. Crispin's Day, and everyone would know.
It's St. Crispin's -2.
Yeah, everything was just T minus Crispin back then. None of this countdown to Christmas. It's countdown to Crispin.
Also, how you cook the corn as well. T minus Crispin.
But it just sounds nicer back then that every day has its own like name, and each one has its own tradition, or basically just like a type of meal that you're supposed to eat. Which that's most of the rules, because it's all religious. So it's just don't eat nuts or something.
No eating nuts on St. Shriven's Day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Saint Digby. No almonds for you. That's quite a specific one.
It's said like that. Remember?
The whole
no almonds for you.
That's in May. The whole month of May is just different nuts that you're not supposed to eat. So to be honest, you're better off writing off nuts for the whole of May just to play it safe. Otherwise, you might get your days mixed up.
Are there 31 nuts that you can avoid?
Not in the 1300s, there wasn't. Unless you lived in Brazil or South America. However, it was mostly just alternating between hazel, walnut, and chest.
As opposed to Brazil, where they just had Brazil nuts. They were worse off than we were.
Well, I imagine they had more tropical things over in those parts of the world.
Like Brazil nuts, the only nut they had.
If there's more than one nut, you end up with regional nuts. And there's no regional nuts for Brazil, it's just Brazil. We've got all kinds of nuts in the UK. That's why you get Lincolnshire nuts, you get East Riding of Yorkshire nuts. Mm-hmm. You will
keep conflating nuts and cheeses.
You get your Wiltshire nuts. They're horrible. Don't eat Wiltshire nuts.
Brighton upon Hove nuts.
You've got the Greater Manchester nuts, but they're poisonous to dogs, so be aware of that. There's a nut for every county, and the nuts also they go with the county name changes. The nuts get updated. So in the 70s, it was just chaos in supermarkets with the nut labels, because there was that whole dividing up of county councils with metropolitan councils. It was a whole thing.
The Lancaster and Fleetwood nut, only a recent thing.
I've got a real hankering for South Humberside nuts, but I haven't had that since '96.
Just don't exist anymore. Can't get them.
Can't get them. North Lincolnshire nuts now taste like dog shit.
So we've got Eric's answer there. I mean, quite clearly, he feels very strongly about nuts, and quite possibly the changing of county lines. I'm not entirely sure where the strong feelings are.
I come from a sort of a county in flux, so I struggle with my sense of identity.
Bollocks! But go on. Which county in flux do you hail from, sir?
Well, when I was born, it was South Humberside. And
I see. The entire knowledge of the county names and areas changing. We've already touched on this, being that South Humberside has come up already.
Mm-hmm. But it didn't always used to be South Humberside. It was not long before that. It was just Lincolnshire, I think, just in that big old bracket. And
it managed to recede from the Lincolnshire county.
Yeah.
And then it was gobbled up by the North Lincolnshire county.
Well, no, it was gobbled up by Humberside. And then East Yorkshire people started rioting, or not quite rioting, but they got a bit angry. I think someone drew on a sign. More than one person wrote a letter. I'm sure of that. More than one person wrote a letter. And because they weren't happy being lumped in with people south of the river, like Grimsby and that. Which is fair enough, but if you come from Hull, you can't get too picky, can you? Who you're associated with?
I heard there was in the centre of Hull. There's just a hole. There's just a crater.
Is that what the city was named after?
That's true. I've walked past that not too long ago.
Is that a genuine
the
thing?
Whole hole?
There was just a thing in the middle.
It's not a deep hole.
Oh,
the whole crevice, I believe.
It's just
what it's called.
It's just like a weird bit of waste ground in the middle. I don't know what they were going for with that, to be honest. It was.
Is it easy?
It's just like you're in the middle of an industrial sort of city. There's shops and that, and then there's just a bit that I don't know. It's like it's been forgotten. I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of land dispute that can't get settled, and it's just been like that for ages.
I still kind of like that idea because it's very, very British and sort of kind of pathetic. But I was hoping that it was just a void.
I want you to all be fully aware that Hull was the 2017 City of Culture.
I am well aware of that, and that's bullshit.
Shoved down my throat by some people from Hull.
Yeah.
The whole hole was definitely put there in 2017.
All they did was decorate the city with some colourful toads. That's all they did.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think they're doing something like that right now in Newcastle. Because I keep driving past this weird man with a large nose that's outside of my local Greggs, and I don't know what it's about. And I'm assuming it's about the Winter Olympics, but I don't know, and I've not researched it. But I drive past him every single day, and he's just appeared. And it's like, those plasticine men from Art Attack originally.
Oh, yeah.
He's just got those kind of proportions, but with a really big nose.
I was going to say, you sure he's not just got a bit of a drinking problem?
Oh no, it's obviously a statue. It's not a real man. It's just permanently stood outside of Greg's.
Hey, I've nearly been there.
But I mean, I know it's Newcastle, okay, and many people may do that just to get a free pasty. But however, this is certainly a statue
with his bulbous nose and his single tooth.
Well, he's got a very odd pattern on him as well. I'm assuming it's in support of Great Britain in some way. Sorry, it's side tangent done. What were we talking about? Days. Yes, I prefer the day of the cruciferous vegetable.
Someone's done some quick Googling there.
Sorry.
So tell us, Will, what's a cruciferous vegetable?
Cruciferous vegetable? Yeah. I have no idea, but it's a fun word, and I'm assuming that broccoli and most greens are involved in it.
What makes you say that? Come on, give us your logic.
Are they not broccoli? Are they not brassicas? Is that not the?
Are they brassicas?
Is that not the fancy veg name for them?
Cruciferous vegetable. Broccoli is a cruciferous vegetable.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I just wanted to know you're working.
Yeah.
Bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, collard greens,
We didn't.
and
We
arugula.
never asked for a
if you
list.
care.
We didn't ask for a list. We asked for your what's your working out?
Yeah.
Personally, I just like the idea that everyone has to celebrate it, and it's the most arbitrary thing I could think of.
I see.
And
see.
I just like the idea that all cafeterias only serve cruciferous vegetables on cruciferous vegetable
So
day.
you're in favour of enforced national holiday days?
Yeah.
So Eric's kind of more the traditionalist, the pure National Day conservative, going back to T-minus Shrivens, and then you're here enforcing brassicas on us.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
And then everyone would learn to appreciate things a little more.
or at least cruciferous vegetables.
Exactly. And then you'd learn that you should definitely be eating more of them, based on your bowel movements the following
How
day.
often do you eat a cruciferous vegetable?
Rarely. Poorly, quite frankly. I should have more of them in my diet.
That's the kind of thing a National Day would help. I get. Yeah, fair enough.
See?
I can see where you're coming from.
To be honest with you, the thing I'm not the biggest fan of all these national days is that realistically they feel like they're just given away willy-nilly. And if they were like more selectively chosen and then everyone was forced to celebrate them, or at least like it was kind of more universally done, then you'd kind of appreciate it a bit more, I think.
Also, if it wasn't like every day, if what they did was just make every Friday some sort of national holiday, and then basically every Friday night is a theme night wherever you go.
Exactly. Every 2 weeks, I think. That gives everyone enough time. And you can have every other Friday's theme. And instead of it being like every day of the year, you get like one every 4 years. I think that's fair. And you can apply to your local council for your personal day of choice, and you get added to a waiting
In no
list.
time, given the population, we will have centuries worth of waiting lists for days to be celebrated.
Exactly. And to get yourself on that waiting list, you'll have to make a real case for your day. Your suffrage that is required penance through this national holiday celebrated every 2 weeks, once every 2 weeks, once per decade.
Oh, you're going to have to pitch it properly, because otherwise you'll get people coming in saying like just their own name, and that's going to be the theme in like when it gets onto the waiting list. Like in 20 years' time, you all have to dress up as me. So, so you're going to have to have quite a strict policy for applications. Otherwise, you're just going to get that.
Yeah, you're going to end up in this kind of weird, like post-apocalyptic landscape where every other Friday is National Me Day, but no one knows who the me is, so we all dress in drab grey clothes and try and look the same.
Yes, but there will have been it will have been organised and enforced
by the police
You know what?
state.
This is becoming worse by the moment. Actually, fuck it. Everyone have your own days whenever you want them. I don't care anymore.
Every other Friday is National Something Day, but every day is Police State Day.
What world have I created? What world is this? I don't want to be here anymore.
Just enforced corn and cruciferous vegetables.
It's all corn. It's all corn.
Thank you. I mean, there's not much there now. It's all gone.
Honestly, they've been the most solid bowel movements I've had in a while.
They never lasted long enough for us to apply sauce. But I can imagine they'd be great with mustard.
Are there any sort of fad snacks that like were just a big thing for you, like memorably a big thing for you for a very short period of time for any kind of reason? Apart, I mean, obviously Will's got corn. I understand that. The man's basically crying and presumably really clogged up down below.
Honestly, they've been the most solid bowel movements I've had in a while.
But
that's not something for the podcast.
like buckshot.
Oh yeah, I am clean.
I mean, I can give you Lucozade Melonade. Lucozade Melonade existed, as far as I know, between 2012 and 2013, and it was sugary as hell, but it tasted just like real melon, like what's the really sweet one? Is it cantaloupe or is it like honeydew? It tasted like just this glorious honeydew melon stuff. And it was so full of sugar, I think I put on about 4 stone, because I used to buy one every day just because I knew it was limited edition. And still, if I'm in the supermarket and I walk past anything vaguely Lucozade shaped and green, my heart will genuinely skip like I've seen a loved one. More than when I see a loved one. I rarely see loved ones.
I'm glad to hear that the nicotine they put on that worked.
To be honest, I've had the exact same experience with just a different flavour of Lucozade.
Oh, wonderful. Not a sponsor.
I also had a period of about 2 years. Like, it's not a limited edition. I just got over my addiction. But is it the Tropical Crush or Caribbean Crush or something?
Oh, forget about it. Absolutely.
The one that's orange at the bottom and blue at the top, which is, I think, apart from maybe the limited edition one, is just the one with the most sugar in it. Yeah, there was a period of at least a year where that was far too accessible to me.
I think the only thing that this has really revealed is that we should probably have Lucozade investigated for narcotics.
2 out of 3 people suffer from Lucozade addiction.
Mine was Diet Dr. Pepper. That was a real issue with me for a while.
That's specific.
It was it was like a fuel, like an addiction. I have to buy one every single day on the way home from school, high school, or sixth form, whichever one it was at the time. I've repressed the memory now.
It's just Dr. Pepper.
I've managed to wean myself off it though.
Oh, that's going back. Yeah, on the way home from school, Hazlitt balls.
Hazlitt
balls.
Excuse me, sir. Whose balls?
Hazlitt. You know Hazlitt.
I know Hazlitt.
No.
Nice guy.
You know Hazlitt. It's just sausage meat.
Oh yes, yeah. My old classmate Hazlitt. His balls.
Really small.
I also had fun with Hazlitt balls.
He has an eye patch. Fangs.
But yeah, on the way home from school, there was a butcher's. It's really good butcher's. I would love to plug that actually. Wintringham Butchers. It's a great butcher's. We started off getting like sausage rolls, pasties on the way home from school, and eventually we just got deeper and deeper into pork products. That we ended up just getting the Hazlitt, which is they just sold it as like an apple, just a ball of sausage meat. And
wait, not battered, not like some sort of Scotch egg. Just a solid ball, like the world's biggest meatball.
It's a solid ball of sausage meat.
Cooked?
Yeah, it's cooked. And
boiled in a bag, hopefully.
I don't know. I really don't know. Don't ask questions. But
you don't.
And then we just eat them like apples on the way home. Just a bowl of sausage meat.
Were they like greasy? Did you get them in like a bag, or were they just?
They weren't greasy.
Were they on a skewer?
They weren't greasy.
Did you get them on like a rod? Did you have like 12 on a stick?
No. Oh, you couldn't handle 12. They were big. Like
big juicy hazard balls.
Like we started off, we'd go in there and ask for the smallest one because they're apple sized. They're like a generous apple size. But yeah, by the end of year 11, we were just getting a full big one each.
I actually genuinely expected this to be like when he said that, like, just without any context. I had no idea who Hazlitt or what his balls were, so I assumed it was like Jawbreakers.
I thought they were like, the Mawam pinball.
Or something.
I thought they were going to be like some sort of sweet treat that you'd pick a bag up of on your way home.
Then we got an insight into Eric's weird Victorian childhood again.
We'd stop off on the way home, we'd get a lump of pork, and
then climb up the chimney.
With your Granny Smith and your ball of meat.
But yeah,
your wheel of cheese that you'd split between 4.
The length of the walk home wasn't long enough, so we used to get them and then we'd sit on the curb and eat them.
Watching the horse and carts rattle by.
Was this in between your chimney sweeps?
Trying to avoid the plague. Just occasionally having diarrhea because you did back then. That's what happened.
Oh, it's just something that happened every now and then. You'll get that if you live on Hazlitt.
I'm laughing about them, but I now want
them. Yeah, they sound
really good.
Delicious.
No, really
it's just a sausage ball.
They sound greasy, and I don't know why.
They're not greasy.
So they're not fried greasy. Or deep fried anyway.
No,
clearly,
I think they might be oven cooked, so they're not greasy.
They weren't greasy.
I think they're baked.
Well seasoned, hopefully.
Oh, they're well seasoned. So this butcher's, they're famous for their Lincolnshire sausages, which is all about the herbs and spices going into it, and it's the exact same mix, I think, for the Hazlitt balls. So it's just like a really tasty Lincolnshire sausage, but
it's just a sausage in a bowl.
Solid.
Sans intestine.
Oh, it's not in a sausage skin. It's just the meat.
It's just loose. It's a loose and proud.
It's quite compact. I think they properly smush it.
It's like a Scotch egg if you didn't have the breadcrumb nor the egg.
Or the air gap.
or the air gap.
Now imagine you've got a Scotch egg.
Imagine you've got a Scotch
Now
egg.
replace the egg with
No
meat.
more egg.
Now put the meat around the meat. Now replace the breadcrumbs with meat. And now you've got...
So you had
Hazlitt's
you
ball.
had a Scotch.
Yes.
And that is, yeah. That sounds fascinating. Yeah, absolutely.
It sounds
It does.
delicious.
It sounds incredible.
I imagine they're good with sauce for some reason.
Mustard.
Like if you imagine your spaghetti and meatballs, but you just had 10 of those.
Oh, God.
I
instead.
think you'd still have spaghetti and meatballs.
I don't. They never lasted long enough for us to apply sauce, but I can imagine they'd be great with mustard.
Rip the head off and then break the shell in between the legs and peel to your pleasure.
I rarely see loved ones.
My chest hurts.
Anyway.
What was Eric's topic? Eric had a topic.
I did.
Yeah, that was the one I thought was yours, and
That you got angry about.
I got unnecessarily angry.
Why was it anger? Why was anger the first
Yeah,
thought?
why is that anger for Will coming up with that, but not me? Why? Why is it okay for me to come up with that?
I think because I'd spent so much time listening to the last podcast we did, and because of that, I've gotten used to listening to Will saying the most outspoken, insane things, and I kind of had this defense up. So as I read the topic, I thought to myself, "What's about to happen?"
Oh, he's going to ruin a nursery rhyme now.
Yeah. What parts of my childhood does he want to retroactively destroy?
I like to think that it's less destruction and more insight into the inner workings of a flawed individual.
Yeah, but it just so happens that as collateral, my childhood memories take a hit. That's fine. That's fine. I didn't need those anyway. It's okay.
No, unimportant. Your life isn't based on those.
Well, you'll be relieved to know, Finn, that I put it in because I have a supporting argument for the nursery rhyme. Cause
Go ahead.
it's the first time, because I mean, all nursery rhymes end up being some sort of cautionary tale, and I have now, through real life experience, realised that I made the same mistakes as that lady that swallowed the fly. In that, how did it start? I was hungry. It started. This basically it's quite literal. It's me putting things in my mouth. I was hungry, so I ate far too much chicken, and then I didn't feel too well because I'd eaten far too much chicken. So I laid down for a while, and then I was really sleepy because I'd been laying down for a while, all full of chicken. So I thought, I've got the podcast to do tonight, so I better have a coffee or something. But the coffee, it was already made in the pot, so there was like a triple espresso shot just ready to go. But I was like, well, I'm not going to leave it till tomorrow. I'll just drink that now. But fuck, that's 3 espresso shots. And it's like 6 o'clock. I need to just level that with something. So I put some rum in it, and then I drank that, and then I wasn't feeling too sprightly after that because it was your levels are all over the place. So I thought, okay, I'll have a Rennie. And then my mouth was all citrusy as well as rum and coffee, which wasn't nice at all. So I brushed my teeth, but then now what do? I've brushed my teeth. I can't now further this process of eating and drinking things to try and level myself out. So then I had to drink loads of water to get rid of the minty taste. So now I'm all full of water sloshing about. Like if I tilt when I walk, I can feel like I'm basically ballasting myself now.
So you feel like the woman who swallowed the fly because you were the man who ate the chicken, who then had to have the coffee with the rum, who either had the Rennie who brushed his teeth to then do the podcast. Beautiful, a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it just
body
kept getting
is
worse.
full of so many chemicals.
Yeah, your
right
guts,
now.
man.
It feels horrible. It feels really horrible.
No wonder. Your body's just a chemical warfare with one another. Half of you's trying to be acid, half of you's trying to be alkali, part of you's trying to get you going, part of you's trying to slow you down. The only thing you're missing is a cold shower and feeling horny. And you've got every emotion in one.
I think you've just described equilibrium. Have you ever felt more peaceful, Eric?
I tell you what I'm drinking right now is the very, very bottom of the espresso things look like the gunge that gets in the bottom of
the
that.
grain, yeah.
The grain. I put that in the cup with some ice and rum. So it's basically like a coffee... what would you call it? A cocktail. That's what you call them, isn't it? And if I'm honest, I feel all right. I also had to take my trousers off because they weren't helping.
I'm suddenly less comfortable.
Well, that's why I've got the gown on, you see.
Me in a bath.
To make me feel more
Me
comfortable.
naked in a bath on a stage is fine, but you sat there looking at us with your trousers off. No.
It's the fact that I know that he has no clothes, but I can't see that he has.
I've got the
clothes.
gown on.
It's the facade I can't deal with. That's the problem.
So you're not comfortable with? Is it the initial lie? It's always like the lie of omission. Was it because you never knew, but now you're finding out?
But you just assume when you can see someone's top half, they've probably got trousers on.
That he's been just loose this whole time, and I'm less comfortable. Knowing
You'd rather
that
I was restricted.
He's less constrained than I. Exactly.
Gather them up, Eric. Gather them up like apples.
Well, I mean, how is this different to if I was wearing just very loose underwear?
Well, it's not, but it's the fact that it's. I feel like if we were all in the same situation, it would be, I feel like we could all be on the same wavelength.
It'd be like we're in a sauna.
Yeah. First episode's from the bar, second episode from the sauna. Everyone sat around.
Everyone's a bit
towels.
loose.
Just a bit sweaty.
Yeah, I could get behind that. Take your trousers off.
Done.
Done.
And
What?
we were all trouserless all along.
I didn't get that memo. What's this other chat you've been having?
It's part of the new
Are
structure,
you
Will.
planning things and taking your
It's called
trousers off?
structure. The way you start,
called
lack of
structure.
pants.
The first point on the bullet board. Right. The first way that we're going to really impart structure into this, less clothing. Easiest way. We'll be freer, but then we'll be more open to structure.
That's a forehead only a mother could love.
It feels horrible. It feels really horrible.
Have you ever come across the fantastic literary experience Rebecca, Will?
You think too highly of me, sir.
You see, I don't think I do. So, Eric, if you wouldn't mind doing the honours,
Yes.
Eric has actually prepared this for you, so I'll let him talk you through it rather than steal his no trousered thunder.
So
Carry on, no trouser thunder.
as part of the new structure and on all these segments we're doing, all one of them that we've done so far, the second one that we'll do so far is, I think, titled A Geordie Reads.
That's right. It's time for A Geordie Reads.
What you've not anticipated with this segment is that I have the reading age of a 5-year-old.
Oh, we anticipated this.
Oh, perfect.
Stop assuming things of us, Will. We know you.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad. I once babysat for some kids, and they asked me to stop reading them a bedtime story because it was too poor.
They took over, and then within minutes you were asleep.
Oh yeah, no. Essentially, they were like, right, I really want this story tonight, but you're butchering it, so I'll read it to myself, thank you. Excellent. I'll go downstairs and watch television. Anyways, where's this thing I'm supposed to read for your
It's
amusement?
in the Discord.
Oh, you've already got... What the fuck is this?
And you...
Do I... Is there like a Geordie accent required, or is
yes.
this just me reading
You
it?
can read it in your own Geordie accent or more Geordie.
Yeah, so like I said, you're the baseline. You're the baseline, Geordie.
I don't really have a Geordie
You're talking
accent.
with one right now, Will.
But it's not, though. There's the occasional word like kook and book that come out quite Geordie. But other than that, it's mostly just a nasally destruction of the English language.
You don't sound like either of us, and that's good enough for us. So...
What's the Geordie phrase? It's 3:33 in the Big Brother house. We came to Manderley in early May, arriving, so Maxim said, with the first swallows and the bluebells. It would be the best moment before the full flush of summer, and in the valleys and azaleas would be prodigal. The fuck is that word? I hate you both. Fuck it. The prodigal of scent. Ah, bollocks. And the blood-red rhodanias in bloom. Why did you use so many long words in this bloody description of spring? We moated. Who wrote this? Eric, did you write this? What is this?
I didn't write this.
Chaos.
Daphne du Maurier wrote it. It's a book. Sorry, it's a book.
It's a book.
It's a book. What is that line? Okay, right. Where was I up to? Sorry.
We noted.
I'll just from the beginning, from the top. It's only 100 words, but I'm butchering it already. We came early in Manderley. We came to Manderley early. Fuck me. This is why the reading age is 5. We came to Manderley in early May, arriving, so Maxim said, with the first swallows and the bluebells. It would be the best moment before the full flush of summer, and in the valleys and azaleas would be the prodigal scent of the blood-red rhodanias in bloom. We motored, I remember, leaving London in the morning in a heavy shower of rain, coming to Manderley at about 5 o'clock. In time for tea, I can see myself now, unsustainably dressed. What? Unsuitably dressed as usual. Unsustainably dressed. Unsuitably dressed as usual, although a bride of 7 weeks, in a tan-coloured stockinette frock, a small fur known as a stone marten round my neck, and overall a shapeless mackintosh, far too big for me and dragging at me ankles. It was, I thought, a gesture to the weather, and the length added inches to my height. I clutched a pair of gauntlet gloves in my hands and carried a large leather handbag. Fuck me.
Done.
I hate
That was
reading
all right.
stuff.
That was fantastic.
You got into it towards the end. There was some passion there.
Right, chaos. Chaos.
I've got one more for you, if you wouldn't mind.
I can read it poorly.
Yeah, but
I may have to read ahead so that I can at least do this. Wow, that is quite the poem you've written there.
which I can take credit.
What song is this, and how would you like it read?
I'd like you to read it how you think it should be read, and it's Monty Python.
It's Monty Python.
Ideally with a Geordie accent, obviously.
Does it have to be in whatever butchery of the Geordie accent that I choose? Sit on my face and tell me that you love me. I'll sit on your face and tell you that I love you too. I love to hear you oralize when I'm between your thighs. You blow me away. Sit on my face and let my lips embrace you. I'll sit on your face and then I'll love you truly. Life can be fine if we both 69, if we sit on our faces in all sorts of places and party till we're blown away.
That's like a Waitrose advert.
I've danced, I've performed as the monkey shall, and now I shall get more vino.
You sat there looking at us with your trousers off.
If anything, it's seasoning.
And I'd like to suggest, to round out everything, our hangover beverages of choice. And that's purely because it was Finn's suggestion. And I want to know what his is first. Now, after the previous conversation, though, I'm almost certain that it is Melonade.
Oh, well, if only. As I said, it was discontinued, and it occupies just a huge place in my heart. But no, alas, I cannot. My stores have run dry. I have three layers of hangover beverage, of preferred hangover, depending on how bad the hangover is.
Okay, is it always beverage, or is this more of a cures sort of thing? I could say
cures. Mine are all beverages, because the day after I'm terrible at wanting to eat anything. First one, still Ribena. Just your classic Ribena.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant just neat.
Just concentrated
on the rocks sort of thing.
Concentrated Ribena sauce. Absolutely.
Just get that down, yeah.
Pure Ribena concentrate on the rocks, and you sip it like a fine whiskey in your arm.
Gets rid of your hangover and your kidneys all in one. It's fantastic. No, I actually remember back in maybe second year of university, and I was so hungover, but I hadn't woken up yet. My body was keeping me asleep in like a kind of like when you go into an enforced coma just to stop any more damage being done. Like, my body didn't want me to wake up. It wanted me to stay exactly where I was. But I had this dream that me and my friends were completing these abstract crystal maze style challenges. And the prize at the end, after solving each one, was like a tiny shot glass of the crispest, coolest Ribena. And in the end, it was incredible because we went into like the big ticket booth thing that they have, but instead of tickets in the booth, it was just Ribena sprinkling down from the sky, and I was happy. And then I woke up and I was just dry, and it was the worst.
You dreamed of moistness, of sticky moistness.
Yeah, I woke up like that scene.
I can't think of many things worse than a shower of Ribena, if I'm honest. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. War, famine, disease.
Being dry.
Sticky Ribena raining down upon me. I can only imagine the state
it was Dream Ribena. It was Dreamer. It was whatever I wanted it to be at the time. It was fantastic. But yeah, I remember waking up and it was like that scene where Gandalf the White wakes up and he goes... and yeah, it was just atrocious.
Do you ever find that warm Ribena works? Because that's my, like, if I'm ill, all I eat is dry toast and warm Ribena.
I've experienced warm Ribena. It's quite nice. I don't know why, when you're ill with a scratchy throat, you'd like to add dry toast to that mix.
Or it's always dry toast. Dry toast, warm Ribena is the thing that just sorts me out.
That's
when
a
I'm
very early noughties ensemble you've got going on there.
I feel like it's more the Victorian cure plus the addendum of the
That'd be
the
meatballs
Ribena.
And diarrhea. That'll sort you right out.
Meatballs and diarrhea.
Both great album titles for an early noughties indie band.
Meatballs and diarrhea.
And dry toast and warm Ribena. It'd be dry toast and warm Ribena as their first album, and then it would be meatballs and diarrhea.
But anyway, so that's the first tier. Second tier is when things really aren't going well, and I'm damn near death's door when I wake up, and that's Iron Brew. I do enjoy, and I mean, none of your diet stuff. I understand it's got its place, but the sugarier the better. And yeah, a really nice, a nice delicious Iron Brew, and I could quaff that until I died. It would be incredible. And then finally, and again, this is harking back to second year when I apparently did most of my drinking. There was one hangover I had where it was so awful that I just slept until 5 p.m. all the way through, from about 4 a.m. till 5 p.m. And then as a cure, we went to Spoons. And I didn't think this would help, but it did. I had a can of the aggressively refreshing San Pellegrino lemon.
Oh,
and
yes.
It was like getting punched in the face by a citrus man. Oh, my goodness. So yeah, those are the three levels, and that's what I was thinking when I put that. Just my experiences, my misadventures in the crystal maze of Ribena, in waking up a Gandalf jerky.
That sounds like you've got quite a good system locked in. Like you've had your trial and error period, and you've found the answer.
I think so. I mean, I still suffer with those hangovers, but these beverages, they help.
I find drowning yourself in water before you go to bed the night before is the best cure for the hangover.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's really relying on drunk you to assess the situation accurately and effectively, which is never a good...
I think I've managed that once or twice in my life.
Exactly. This is the problem, that the drunk version of you at that moment can only think of one thing. That is
just
bed and fried foods.
There's a balance to be struck as well, because if drunk you is too into that idea of water, you'll go to bed with too much ballast, and
you'll be sloshing.
You'll be sloshing.
I don't know. Hangover cures. What was my hangover cure? Lucozade, like the base one.
I still go for that for, like, if I'm ill or hungover, just as any sort of, just a cure for anything. Just original Lucozade.
Original Lucosade's always the one that works for me when I'm like dying. After a hangover, I just feel like it's all the things that my body wants.
Hangover, ill, or like sleep deprived, or I've got a really long drive to do, or something like that, and I just need to be awake. Then forget coffee. Original Lucozade all the way. You just need that sugar.
I find that to get through the drive, My problem is I'm trying to get through a really long drive and I go for like a drink. I find that I need a wee. So my solution to that is to make the car as cold as possible. Because if you're cold, you don't sleep.
Oh, I thought you were saying that if you're cold, you don't wee.
That's right. You're probably desperately trying to retain
No!
warmth.
I still drink loads of coffee and Lucozade, but if I'm freezing cold, there's no way I'm taking my trousers off to do a wee.
Oh yes, the idea is that I bring my centrally my bladder down to freezing temperatures, at which point all of the liquid can't actually go out of me anymore, and it's the perfect solution. No, I don't drink stuff, because otherwise I basically dehydrate myself to the point of I should probably drink something, and then make the car freezing cold, and then drive, and then I can basically drive for as long as is required to get to the destination. I'm not saying it's a healthy option, and I don't suggest it to anyone. However, you will get there in one drive, and you won't fall asleep.
You sound like a man who's been enslaved to that need to pee before. You know when you go to, when you like you go into bed, so you have a pee,
Yeah.
you clean your teeth, preferably wash your hands in between. But I'm not the boss of you. You do what you want. Then you go upstairs, you lie down, and you think, I should go to the toilet before I go to sleep. But I know I've just been. But that's not enough for you. That's not enough for you and your need to pee. So then you go, squirt out the tiniest bit, and then you think, that was worth it, and then go to bed. You strike me as the kind of man that does that every time he gets in the car.
No, I do that every time I have a test to take. But it's the nerves get to me. But no, it's the one trip that I had to Edinburgh when I was with the whole school, and we were dying for a wee on the way back, and I was like, please stop, please stop, please stop. And eventually I was like, right, I'm gonna be pissing in a bottle if you don't let me off this bus, basically. And I still had to pee in a bottle, which was poor in that point in my life. And then eventually they pulled over the bus when they realised this was happening, and then they let me out, and I basically stood on the edge of a slope to like try and get down to the bottom, and I just slid down straight onto my arse, and I had to pee at the very bottom of the slope in a very sad state, and then I had to clamber back up this slope with a smudged, muddy arse and the saddest look on my face after going to Edinburgh Zoo and then come back. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Edinburgh Zoo's been tainted for me ever since.
This image of you sliding down this slope whilst uncontrollably pissing.
Thankfully, I hadn't started pissing at that point. Otherwise, that would have been a pure
How
disaster.
come you also pissed in a bottle as well as at the bottom of the slope?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I may be confounding two memories together, but I do remember two separate trips. These both happened on trips to Edinburgh Zoo, I feel like. So it may just be Edinburgh Zoo. One ended pissing in the bottle, another ended up pissing it down a slope. Either way, poor memories of Edinburgh Zoo.
Not even that long of a drive.
And driving. And now I dehydrate myself. This podcast is definitely cheaper than a therapy.
Yeah. So we now know that, from what I can remember, Will's hangover cure is pissing himself on a bus. What did you say?
Yeah, but original Lucozade.
Right. Original Lucozade. And the same for you, was it? Yeah, the both of you.
Well, as you might have guessed, my hangover cure is another lady that swallowed the fly situation. If I feel at all off, I'll just continuously just put new things in to try and balance myself out.
Is this the real reason why you live with a vet, just in case something happens and she needs to take you somewhere and get you pumped?
I basically spend any time I'm thrown off kilter, I will then just fluctuate about my equilibrium point wildly for the next day, from just taking extreme measures to try and right myself. When really I should probably just have a glass of water and lie down, and that's be fine. But no, I think if I had, so obviously you don't always have access to everything when you're hungover, because if you're hungover, you probably don't want to go anywhere or go to the shops or anything, unless you absolutely have to. But let's say I had some sort of servant that would just run off to Tesco Metro. I think I'd start with Barocca, get just down that pint of Barocca, while it's still fizzing. Just can't wait, just get it in.
Yeah.
Now that would be a lot of water sloshing around already. That's a big ballast.
I prefer it when you do a Barocca to do as little water as possible. You know, like a Barocca shot. I go half glass of water. Pure orange
filthy
concentrate.
But you need the water in you. You're dehydrated. You need to get all that water in.
I'm assuming Will's just about to go for a drive or something. So
This is when I haven't eaten a cruciferous vegetable for a while, and I feel like my body's lacking in
snorting
vitamins.
Barocca powder.
So I pop the old, I just line up the old Barocca, and just vitamins. Sorry, as you were saying, Eric.
Oh, yeah. So immediately after that, before there's no waiting to see if that's taken effect, if that's made me feel better. Then it's on to strong coffee to get you woken up. That is strong coffee is just not good for you. It's a diuretic. It's not good for your stomach at all. And if you're hungover, especially if it's a beer hangover, you're straight in the toilet after that. And then you're feeling really grim. So then you've got to settle all that down by just eating loads of eggs. Interesting
choice. Interesting pivot.
You make yourself...
Just cracking them on the side of the bath.
So you make yourself a huge amount of eggs, preferably plain scrambled, with a bit of toast if you want, or you can just gobble it out the pan. That'll feel quite heavy, and you'll want to wash that down with some more Barocca. You'll be pissing orange quite a bit now as well.
Is this 2 tablets?
This
now,
is the second one after the eggs.
Oh my goodness!
I bet you are shitting all day with this.
Yeah, and that second shit is gonna make you feel really bad. So you're gonna have to hop in the shower after that.
Fuck me! How explosive is that?
It's not that it's required. It's just that you feel like you just want a shower now. I'm not saying it's required for you to be clean.
The energy
because
transfer,
of that.
just the energy transfer and voiding your own weight. You just have to slop into the shower and lay there in the warm.
It's not to clean yourself. It's more of an emotional shower. Following that, and then it's back to coffee, and the cycle starts all over again, and that's the rest of the day gone. Yeah. Wow. Eventually it gets dark, and you lay down and go to bed, and sleep cures you. But it's a terrible day.
I think you're supposed to remove the poop chute as well.
Dragging at me ankles.
Just gobble it out the pan.
Eric, I really want to listen to this soundbite.
What soundbite? Oh,
shall we do this soundbite as the last segment? As the
final segment.
Yeah, go on then.
So this segment is called Celebrity Sounds. I've not recorded in person. I didn't follow people around with microphones. I've taken snippets out of some things of celebrities making guttural noises, and you have to identify the source of these guttural noises. So if you'd like to play Celebrity Sound 1.
That was horrendous.
It sounds like he just swallowed Barocca and then downed some Pepsi.
I'm not gonna lie, that is a horrible sound. It sounds like a Murloc drowning, and I don't know which celebrity gave you that sound, but it is pure awful.
Are we allowed some clues here? Or...
Okay, yeah. All of these sounds are taken from sitcoms that I have a copy of. So these are the things that I watch when I'm away at work.
Okay.
Right. Okay. This has to be It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It is.
There's no other way that this
Very
is.
good.
This is no other
well
show.
Done.
I mean, from that, can you guess which character?
From the cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's either going to be Charlie or Danny DeVito.
It is Danny DeVito. It's Danny DeVito gargling beer.
Excellent.
Oh, that's a spectacular guess, Will.
It's very well done.
It's less of a guess based on the sound and more of a guess based on Eric.
This is also a little bit of a clue as well. I didn't find any of these by sort of just watching through willy-nilly. These are shows that I know so well that I think there's a guttural sound that I should put in. and I go exactly to that episode and scene and put it in.
That is incredible that you know that like an encyclopedia of awful
There's
noises.
like this library of guttural sounds in your head and the vague timestamp.
I look forward to the next cut that you do of the podcast, Eric, where it's just cut in between with horrible sounds.
Yeah, instead of
celebrities.
this elevator music, it's just guttural noises. Okay, are we ready
Beautiful.
for celebrity sound number 2?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Celebrity sound.
Was that it? The short sneeze?
Yep.
The short sneeze?
I'm racking my brains. I strangely recognise it.
I know that Finn at least has watched this programme and will have heard that sound.
No, the pressure's on, man. Will's already been represented.
What do you think is happening there?
It sounds like a man is violently sneezing.
It's not a sneeze, but it is
Okay.
violent.
Okay, that narrows it down. Okay, and it's got.
Is it Billy Connolly?
It's not Billy Connolly.
Fair get. It's got a
and
laugh
it's,
track.
and
got
it's
a laugh
not
track.
close. It does have a laugh track, and until you start trying to record celebrities doing guttural sounds, you start to really hate laugh tracks.
This is difficult.
I really didn't expect it to be easy, to be honest.
Right. Well, this person's clearly Scottish.
Nope. No,
It's definitely a British comedy, obviously. Is it Black Books?
it's not Black Book, but similar time.
Similar time.
I'm pretty sure.
Ooh.
Maybe slightly later, maybe.
Green Wing?
No, but good one. I think I'll just come out and tell you.
Yeah,
It's
go on.
Steve Coogan putting his foot on a spike.
It's on a spike! Of course it is. Have a good time.
I'm not going to pull my foot off. You pull your foot off. Celebrity sound.
What is this? How do you expect us to guess this?
This is Black Books.
This is Black Books.
It's the episode where he's like snivelling on the floor and he looks up and sees Bill Bailey. Is that?
I almost picked that scene because that is a good one of his sounds. But this is another one of him sort of not quite snivelling, but regaining consciousness and sees Bill Bailey. Because I'm pretty sure that happens several times throughout Black Books. Is Dylan Moran waking up to see Bill Bailey? This is in the first episode when he gets beaten up by skinheads so that he can get out of doing his taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Bailey wakes him up appearing as Jesus.
After swallowing the Little Book of Calm.
Yes, after swallowing the Little Book of Calm. Celebrity sound.
What on earth is that supposed to be? It feels like it's something from either... It feels like a Steve Coogan thing or it's Blackadder.
I've not done any repeats. It's not Steve Coogan. And it's not Blackadder. But I will give you a clue in that it is another Graham Linehan. It's not Graham Linehan making the sound, but it's another one of Graham Linehan's TV shows.
Father Ted?
It is Father Ted.
Right, okay.
And it is Frank Kelly as Father Jack searching for drink. Celebrity sound.
What was that?
It feels like a transitionary piece from like one segment to another of a TV show. Doesn't feel like an actual thing from the middle of an episode.
It is from the credits of an episode.
Was it from Spaced?
It's not from space, but I can see why you thought that.
I have zero ideas, Eric.
To be honest, I think this whole segment was very much more for Finn with his deep knowledge of British sitcoms.
Excellent. I'm glad. I'm glad that I fully understood Danny DeVito.
That's true. You got one right at the top.
I peaked early, and from that point onwards,
You did go straight for Always Sunny there, which was impressive.
I'm struggling to identify this one. Is it? It's not any ones I've said. It's not. It doesn't sound like it's Green.
It's not one you've mentioned before. No.
You might have to tell me this one.
This is Peep Show.
Oh, it's strange.
This is Jez's track.
Of course, it's strange how recognisable. Okay, I'm kind of kicking myself there with that one.
That's Robert Webb as Jez.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Come on.
Okay.
Was there 2 left?
You ready?
Probably.
There's 3 left.
3. Okay. Right.
Celebrity sound.
That was spaced.
That was spaced.
That was Brian pricking his finger.
Yes. Exactly. Very well done. Incredible.
I have no idea what any of these shows are.
Oh man, if you ever have to take like a month off work and you're bedridden for any reason, my goodness, you could have just
like next time you have a heavy cold.
Yeah.
We're giving you a watch list.
This is just chaos. Go on, the final one. Next one.
Celebrity sound.
I assume that's someone having sex.
Correct.
From what?
Yeah,
I do not know.
I'm not sure about that one.
I'm not 100% sure if either of you have watched this, actually. It's much more recent than any of the others.
British? American?
British.
British.
Yeah, and it's very recent.
You've taken a segment of 2 people having sex.
There's only one person really making much noise in there, and that's the tutter.
Yes, there is a tutter. It's definitely someone tutting having sex.
Have you watched any recent British comedies, Will?
No, I haven't. And I haven't watched many people having sex recently either.
See, I have, but not. It wasn't funny and it wasn't British.
It was harrowing and Colombian.
Those are my 2 search filters. I want it to be Colombian and I want it to be harrowing. Tell us. Eric.
I'll give you this one because I don't think either of you have watched it. It's Jamie Demetrio in Stath Let's Flats.
I've not seen it, but I've heard good things.
I would recommend.
Never heard nor seen of this.
It's very good, very very good. It's a very very Greek letting agent. It's the same sort of humour that we get from the very Italian men I know.
Excellent. I do like
it's just people being very European.
The final one.
Final one. Celebrity sound.
Again, is this a man? Is this a man and a cow in an awkward situation?
There's no cow involved.
What?
Was that Red Dwarf?
No.
How is there no cow involved?
There are no cows present.
I recognise the.
Oh, wait, is that some sort of vibrator as opposed to a cow?
It's something vibrating. Yeah, it's not a cow.
Is it a phone?
Yes. Oh. You're getting closer.
IT Crowd.
Yes.
Yes.
Matt Berry with the phone on vibrate.
Computer man, fix my pants.
Exactly. I mean, to be honest, I felt a little bit cheap putting that one in because of all the sounds Matt Berry's made. That's not even one of his best. He's if I went thoroughly into his back catalogue of noises, there's got to be more. At least ones that are easier to cut around the laugh track.
Just take a tiny section of Father.
Oh, that would have been too easy, especially for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I do enjoy him far too much, especially when he's being Colombian and harrowing.
The 2 things that are necessary.
Yeah, that's
to your pleasure.
Finn's 3 favourite things: Matt Berry and harrowing Colombian films.
Yeah, absolutely.
Harrowing Colombian sexual films.
Every day is Police State Day. C. Joy Bell once said, "Ends are not bad things." I couldn't agree more. From myself, Eric and Will, piss off.
We came to Mandalay in early May, arriving, so Maxim said, with the first swallows and the bluebells. It would be the best moment before the full flush of summer, and in the valleys and azaleas would be Oh, fuck me. Prodigal? The prodigal? The fuck is that word? I hate you both.